keep the Mersey safe.
Live for the next 45 minutes, you're watching Crimewatch Roadshow. Hello and welcome to the Crimewatch Roadshow. As always, we need your help to solve the crimes happening where you live. Also today, a road with no limits. I take to two wheels to see how police cope when their peaceful island turns into a racecourse.
I can really see with so many twists and turns in the road how even experienced riders could quite easily get caught out.
And the increase in animal cruelty. How this dog survived one of the worst cases of brutality the RSPCA has ever seen. Today, Michelle is on the water in Liverpool. What are you up to this morning?
Morning, Ralph. Today I'm with Merseyside's fire and rescue team at their floating station. It's the base for their marine unit, and they work hard to keep this stretch of water safe 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They also cover 60 miles of coastline, and later I'll be seeing how they train in a dramatic river rescue.
You be careful. But now it's time for our first appeal, and we need your help to catch the armed gang who broke into a family home and even attacked an 8-year-old girl.
So we dropped everything and run out the door, jumped in my car and got here as quick as possible. I feared the worst. What's this one called?
It's chocolate, he's the famous one.
Family man and pub manager Stephen Hughes lives with his wife Kellyanne, who he married last year, and his 8-year-old stepdaughter, Olivia. One evening in February, Stephen went out around 7 p.m. to work on a charity single he'd been producing in his spare time.
I was up at the recording studio. We'd been working on a Hillsborough charity single and we were just putting the final touches to it.
He left Kellyanne getting Olivia ready for bed.
I was expecting to be out for an hour, maybe 2 hours.
But not long after he left, Stephen received a call from his wife.
Hello? Obviously very upset, saying she could hear noises.
Someone in the house.
Coming from downstairs, she was upstairs with Olivia. And saying there was somebody getting in the house. From the tone of her voice I could tell it was something serious.
3 intruders had broken into the house. Kellyanne saw them from the landing and, terrified, barricaded herself and her daughter into the bathroom as the men came up the stairs in pursuit.
He pushed the door open, grabbed hold of Olivia, punched her in the head, still with the knife in his hand. One had a machete.
As the attack continued, the men demanded money and jewellery. By this time, Stephen and his friend were rushing back to the house.
And what would normally be about an 8-minute journey, we managed to do in about 3 or 4 minutes.
But when he got home, one of the intruders was lurking in the driveway.
A man ran out of the house with an axe and he ran towards me and he went feigned to throw it and then he feigned to throw the axe again, swung it at me and then run off into the other direction.
In his desperation to find Kellyanne and Olivia, Stephen rushed into the house.
And I opened the door, I screamed for Kellyanne and Olivia's name, and there was no answer. And walking up them stairs, I feared the worst. I thought I was going to find them dead. And that feeling lived with me for a very long time.
Eventually, Stephen found Kellyanne and Olivia at a neighbour's house, hiding underneath the table.
Olivia was hysterical, crying, sobbing, shaking from head to toe, and so was Kellyanne.
Thankfully, none of the family were seriously injured by the attack, but there have been devastating consequences.
I've been left with an overwhelming sense of I should have been there. Like, I was powerless to be there and help them in the time of need. that's something I've got to live with. Kellyanne and Olivia were diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Olivia's gone from a happy-go-lucky, outgoing child to quite introverted at times and pretty much a nervous wreck. She's terrified to be on her own. She's got hiding places in the house. Just the mere mention of the instance, she breaks down crying.
I'm nervous every night and day in case they come back or someone else comes.
I'm 100% certain that there's people out there who know who's responsible for this. The people who destroyed the child's life, which we're struggling to rebuild.
It's absolutely horrendous, and with me now is Detective Inspector Jason Pye from Merseyside Police. Jason, the level of violence that was used during this burglary was seriously distressing, wasn't it?
It was seriously distressing to the family. I mean, weapons was used, the young child was assaulted in the house as well. So obviously we were really keen to speak to anybody who can give us information in relation to this offence.
And you're hoping that people, even who don't normally come forward with information, after seeing the extent of this attack, this burglary, that they will?
Definitely. You know, we've got an innocent woman and child in their own home. These two people have gone in there, they've attacked them with weapons. You know, we would ask anybody to search their conscience today and come forward with information, come talk to us and help us identify those responsible.
And the CCTV, I mean, that highlights the level of violence, doesn't it? Talk us through that.
It does. The CCTV is captured from the front of the home. You see Stephen arrive home and you can see that he's confronted by one of these offenders. He's brandishing an axe towards him. I mean, it's horrendous, you can see that for yourselves. And again, I'd ask anyone to look at those images, and if you can tell us who the axeman is, to come forward and give us that information.
What did they take from the family?
They took a number of items. There was a wedding ring, an engagement ring, a number of watches, and a handbag as well. And obviously, we're still really keen to trace those items.
And as you said, this is something that has really affected the family, especially Kellyanne and Olivia, who've been suffering from post-traumatic stress.
They have. I mean, the young child's 8 years of age at the time. She's witnessed this in her own home. But I would like to reassure the public that this type of offence, thankfully, is extremely rare.
Jason, thank you very much. Raf.
What a callous attack. Do take another look at this image. It's vital that these thugs are caught. So if you have any information at all, please do get in touch. Now, some more criminals caught on CCTV, so watch carefully.
It's just before Christmas last year when this bloke enters an off-licence in Bolton, but he doesn't look like he's here to pick up a few festive drinks. He heads straight to the back of the shop and browses the shelves, or at least that's what he seems to be doing, but not for long. Instead, he turns back in the direction of the counter and pulls out what appears to be a firearm from his trousers. He heads over and threatens the shop assistant with the gun and demands cash, but the man at the till isn't having any of it and decides to refuse the gunman flat out. The robber doesn't seem too happy, but the shop assistant isn't giving in that easily and reaches down, grabbing a few bottles of water to throw at him. It's just too much for the gunman and he legs it. Do you recognise this cowardly crook? Call us now. These two look like joggers, but they're not. They're robbers. This one grabs the shop worker and drags her inside. Manhandling her to the floor, the masked man has his sights on the safe and makes a run for it when he sees his partner coming up behind him. But they're not alone. Another shop assistant has seen the robbers storm in and sprints to the lockable toilets. The intruder is hunting for the safe, but now he's carrying a knife that he's picked up from the deli counter. Back at the tills, and the manager comes out to confront the masked man, telling him to leave the team member alone. As the robber threatens the manager, he's interrupted by his accomplice, who's panicking as he's realised there are more people here than he thought. They make a run for it empty-handed, leaving the terrified co-workers behind. Police believe these bumbling crooks drove off in this vehicle, which could be a Vauxhall Corsa. They were masked, but if you know who they are, you know what to do. It's early morning, and everyone is sound asleep in the house on the right. But these trendy two are wide awake. They have a good sniff around, but can't get in. Then something catches their eye in the back garden. Mr. Fashionista spots a bike behind the washing and gives his pal a nudge to go get it. Over he goes, narrowly missing the sheets. Maybe they're just not his colour. Having cut the security chain, he passes a £1,500 electric bike over the fence to his sidekick. Shame it doesn't have a working battery or even a seat, so they've got to make their getaway on foot. If you recognise either of these two, give us their names, not their labels.
If you recognised anyone, now is the time to get in touch. The number is 08000 468 999 and calls are free, or you can text us on 63399. Text CW space and then your message. Text will be charged at your standard message rate, or send us an email. The address is cwr@bbc.co.uk. Michelle.
I'm at the floating fire station here in Merseyside, and I'm joined by team leader Dan Daly and watch manager Ronnie Duffy. Now, Dan, interestingly, it's called the floating fire station, but it's not fires that you guys mainly deal with. So what is it that you do?
So we provide a 24-hour-a-day water rescue cover on the River Mersey. We operate in a 3-man crew on board a 10.5-metre main launch.
Now, obviously, I'm on jet ski now. What are the advantages of using jet skis in your rescue operations?
So the jet ski is a lot more speedier than the main launch that we operate on, and they can operate in tight spaces as well.
So it's got good manoeuvrability.
Yeah, yes.
But obviously for you guys, it's important to make sure that you're trained well, because they're quite pacey, aren't they, really?
They are indeed, yeah. We do go on training courses to operate on the jet skis, and we're all swiftwater technicians and helmsmen as well on board.
Well, I'm going to see one of your rescue operations in action, so right, let's do it.
Identified the casualty in the water, got his arm up, the boat will pull, turn round, head into him. The rescue swimmer will locate the casualty, and he'll direct him onto the rear of the vessel alongside the vessel.
So how do these jet skis and that boat work together to rescue a casualty?
I was stated earlier, these can get into smaller tighter spaces than the boat can. The boat jet-powered vehicles, so they can work in smaller drafts and they can get into smaller, tighter spaces.
So I can see now that they've put a rod in the water to rescue it. So on a kind of typical rescue like this, what would be your role? Are you just kind of overseeing to check that everything's okay?
Yeah, we're just here to assist the marine units if they need any assistance.
Okay, and he's going up now to talk me through what's happening.
We're basically just bring them down to the after the vessel where the deck loads, so it's easier for them to get casualty onto the boat.
I mean, being on the river today, it's pretty choppy. Do you know what I mean? Like doing this quickly when it's going up and down. One, I don't know how you do it because I'm feeling nauseous. But two, you've got to be quick, haven't you?
Yeah, say that they are the fast response vessels. And then if it needs to send a rescue swimmer in to retrieve the casualty, there's a rescue swimmer located on the boat.
Well, you know what? I'm glad to see the casualty is safely on board. Rav, we're going to head back to the station.
Oh, hold on tight. Now, every summer the Isle of Man sees thousands of visitors arriving for the TT. It's one of the most exciting road races in the world, but it's also one of the most dangerous and a really challenging event to police. Now, being a lover of motorbikes, I couldn't resist the opportunity to experience it for myself.
The Isle of Man, a tranquil haven in the Irish Sea. But it's also the only place in Europe outside Germany where there are public roads without speed limits. And for one fortnight every summer, the place roars to life as thousands of motorbike fanatics arrive for the annual Isle of Man Tourist Trophy, the world-famous TT races. The island has hosted the TT for more than 100 years, and as a biker myself, getting to visit this place is a dream come true.
Behind me there is the start of the famous mountain area of the track. That's where the whole roads are de-restricted. It means there's no upper speed limit whatsoever. Well, there's nothing I love more than getting out on a motorbike, so let's see what she can do.
The TT racetrack is a public road for the rest of the year, which means ordinary riders like me can test their skills on a legendary circuit.
Wow, that ride was amazing. This is such a fantastic place to be on two wheels. but I can really see with so many twists and turns in the road how even experienced riders could quite easily get caught out.
The race is widely considered to be the most dangerous on the planet. Over the past decade, 32 riders have lost their lives on the course, including 3 this year alone. As well as a keen biker, I'm also an ex-copper, so I wanted to find out how a police force of just 210 officers manages such a high-risk event. Inspector Gavin Callow is head of operations during TT races.
You do have a lot of people come onto the island, especially at the TT weekend. How many could you expect?
TT, I mean, we're probably looking at 30 to 40,000 coming for the TT period, and it's obviously a lot of motorbikes on the roads at this time. People are out doing their normal businesses, but we've also got this influx of riders who want to go out, have a great time, but some might be tempted to take a little bit too far.
How fast do people actually go on that stretch of road?
I think in racing, there's race speeds are coming up towards 200 miles an hour. On that mountain road, there isn't a speed limit, so members of the public can certainly go faster than 100 miles an hour on occasions. It is a very windy course with drops, so if you don't know what you're doing, it can have serious consequences.
The island's 37 3/4 mile long Snæfell mountain course twists and turns its way around the island. And while there's no upper speed limit on some of the island's roads, careless and dangerous driving laws still apply. Stephen Lapsley is head of the island's road policing team and a key member of the TT operation.
Probably the restriction is people think when they see it they need to do it as fast as speed possible they possibly can. You know, and it's not that, it's just that there's no upper speed limit. We do police with tolerance here, but if somebody steps over the mark, then we do deal with them on the coast, deal with them hard.
On an island where motorsport is cherished and the appeal of riding on roads without limits draws thousands of visitors every year, officers have had to adapt their tactics.
We have to take a different approach to road safety. We couldn't just rely on enforcement, that would fail. We could hand tickets out like confetti and it wouldn't work. The best way that we find is to get the message across by talking to people and making them think about their riding and their driving.
But there's more to the TT than the bikes. Thousands of people turn up for the spectacle and officers spend much of the fortnight on the beat. Come nightfall, it's up to PC's Gareth John and Kirsty Finn to keep an eye out for potential trouble on the streets of Douglas.
There's a lot of people out, people have been out all day, have a good time, we've had a few beers, and it definitely changes the dynamic of what goes on in the evening.
And it's not long before the officers spot a problem. A scuffle has broken out between 2 youths, and they are forced to intervene.
He's been aggressive to another lad who came up to him, so he's been arrested on suspicion of a fairly low level public order offence. There's no one been injured. I think chances are, as long as he's calm now, we'll take him away from the area and be arrested.
The TT races have come to an end for another year, and while some argue that the event puts lives at risk, I've had a real insight into how a small force pulls off a truly staggering police operation.
It really was an eye-opener. Right, still to come this morning. Nearly 40 years on, the tragic case of 2 schoolboy friends murdered while out playing.
You know, if I'd have kept him in, perhaps the kids would have been alive today, but I let them on because I was sorry for him and I wanted him to go out and play.
And still on the loose, can you help track down convicted murderer Sean Walmsley, who escaped from prison guards whilst on a hospital visit in February? But first, there's been a worrying increase in the number of reports of neglect and ill treatment of animals. Last year, the RSPCA investigated almost 150,000 allegations of animal cruelty. I'm joined now by Superintendent Martin Hubbard, who's from the charity, and by Victor the Staffy. Good morning. Martin, you believe that social media is adding to the number of incidents that are reported to you?
Yes, we don't think the number of actual incidents of cruelty has gone up, but there is a tendency for people to film what they do and upload it onto social media sites, and consequently people reporting that back to us.
OK, well, now we've got an example of one of those things now. This is an image that was on Instagram, and what's happening here, Martin?
Here we've got a picture of some badger baiters who have dug into a set, got the badger, and then have set dogs onto the badger. It's horrific. They've uploaded the film of this and photos of this onto Instagram, and you can hear the comments, the laughter from the perpetrators, and you can hear the badger screaming in pain.
Unbelievable. Now, they were prosecuted. What happened?
They were prosecuted. Inspectors investigated the issue, RSPCA inspectors, and all 5 perpetrators were given prison sentences and bans from keeping animals.
Okay. Now, we've got Victor here. He looks happy, he looks healthy, but unfortunately this is what he is now, not what he was before. We're going to show an image of Victor when he came to your attention, but I must warn you, this is a shocking picture that some may find upsetting. What's his story?
Well, we were called to a house and we found that Victor had been given cocaine and had his ears cut off with just a pair of scissors.
Unbelievable. They were actually there on the floor when you went.
And that's right, officers found the scissors and the ears still lying on the floor, yes.
What happened? Please tell me they got prosecuted.
They did. The person who did this to poor Victor was given a 24-week prison sentence and a ban and a probation order.
Okay, now let's just point out the law at the moment, it goes to a maximum of 6 months.
6 months and maximum imprisonment in England. We would like to see that increased. So, for example, in Northern Ireland, it's up to 5 years.
Yeah, I think we all would agree with that one, Martin. Okay, neglect is obviously something else you take very, very seriously. Again, very disturbing image that some may find upsetting. Tell me about this dog here.
Yeah, when people take animals on, they take on the responsibility to feed this dog, their animals. You can see this dog is clearly being starved. That's probably a more common incident we come across than deliberate cruelty. But it's terrible for the animals.
And it's something that you take very seriously, and you're open to all avenues here, whether it's education of people, advice, but ultimately, if you have to, you will prosecute.
Yes, prosecution is a last resort. We would rather get there, give advice and head off the ill treatment of the animals, rather than have to catch up and try and sort it out.
You won't take it at all. And Victor, lovely to see you so happy and healthy now. I'm going to tell you now that the RSPCA have a cruelty line, and I'll give you that number now. It's 0300 1234 999. The call costs the same as any call to a UK landline number, and it's open 24 hours a day.
Next, 4 months after he went on the run, Merseyside police are still on the hunt for a dangerous escaped prisoner. Sean Worsley was serving out a 30-year minimum prison sentence for murder when he fled prison custody in February. Joining me now is Detective Sergeant Holly Chance. First of all, Holly, just talk us through the escape plan.
Well, on February 21st, Sean Worsley attended Aintree Hospital under guard for examination after complaining of symptoms in relation to a serious illness. Whilst guards escorted him back to the vehicle, 2 males armed with a knife and a gun forced his release. They made their getaway in a distinctive gold Volvo.
So it sounds like he had help with his escape. It was pretty planned, wasn't it?
Yes, we believe this has been thoroughly well planned. He's had help from a number of people. He lost a lot of weight in order to convince prison officers that he was generally unwell and that he needed to attend hospital. Due to the change in his appearance, this has helped him evade recapture.
And what progress have you made with the case so far?
We've made a number of arrests, in particular individuals who we believe have assisted in the plot of the escape. Only last week, a fellow gang member was arrested in Spain and a large quantity of cash was recovered. We've also recovered £125,000 from suspects, which we believe is linked to Worsley's criminal activity.
Now, obviously, Sean, is still at large. What do you want from people watching today?
We simply want any information to the whereabouts of Sean Worsley or his movements since February. This image shows him prior to his weight loss, and this CCTV still from hospital gives you an idea of what he looked like prior to the escape. However, he is a highly dangerous and violent individual, and I urge members of the public not to approach him, and should they sight this male, to contact the police.
Now, finally, there is a reward for this case, isn't there?
Yes, there is a £20,000 reward for any individual who knows the whereabouts of Sean Worsley and can lead us to recapturing him. This is his money, and it was seized from him at the time of his murder conviction.
Holly, thank you very much. Ralph.
Yeah, this guy is very dangerous and clearly needs to be caught. If you can help bring him back to justice, then get in touch. And remember, you can also speak to Crime Stoppers anonymously. They're on 0800 555 111. Now, most of us wouldn't think of handing over our bank details and cards to a complete stranger, but after an elaborate and cruel hoax that took place over a few days, that's exactly what happened to our next couple, Alan and Joyce Phillips, and that's what they did when they fell victim to what's known as courier fraud. I'm also joined by Jackie Mackay of Thames Valley Police, who's investigating. Good morning to you all. Jackie, from the investigation point of view, can you tell us what happened?
Yes, Mr and Mrs Phillips received a number of phone calls from someone purporting to be from their bank, asking them if they'd received their replacement bank cards. They'd never in fact actually requested any bank cards. Several phone calls later, arrangements were then made for a courier to attend their home address and bank cards were exchanged. The courier left with Mr and Mrs Phillips' bank cards, and over several days they spent nearly £57,000 worth of Mr and Mrs Phillips' savings.
Oh my goodness. Alan, when did you actually know that this wasn't in fact your bank, it was a complete scam?
Well, we needed some money out on the Monday. The scam happened on Saturday afternoon. So I went down to Lloyd's Bank in Maidenhead and presented the new cards.
So this is what the so-called courier gave you? You gave them this card?
Yes. And I said, you know, I need some money out. And the girl looked at the card because they were a different colour. And she said, oh, hang on a minute. She said, I have to go and check on this. So she came back and said, Mr Phillips, you have been scammed.
Words that you're never going to forget, I'm sure. And Joyce, you were actually out shopping at the time.
I was, yes.
What was it like for you when you realised that all your life savings, things you've saved so hard for so many years, were now in the hands of complete strangers?
Well, I just couldn't believe it at first. And then, you know, it takes a lot for it to sort of sink in, the amount. And
just shell-shocked.
I was really shell-shocked.
Well, clearly we need to catch who's responsible. So, Jackie, what do we know about these
Well, we have various CCTV clips.
Let's have a look at this now. These are two people that are definitely of interest to you and you'd like to identify. What's happening
Yes, the female with the sunglasses on her head has been identified as the courier who came to collect the bank cards. She's seen here in Jessop's in Oxford Street with the male with the cap.
Spending a large amount of cash.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money in Jessop's and other locations in London on cameras.
Now, we've got another clip from CCTV here. Some other individuals. Again, you want to trace what's happening here?
Yeah, the next day, these three males were seen in Costco in Hayes and Costco in Sunbury, where they spent a lot of money on cigarettes.
I mean, it's thousands, isn't it?
Yeah, £15,000.
Thousands of pounds. Now, they were using a car, and you've got the details of that car, so you're appealing to anyone who knows this.
Yes, the three males were seen leaving Costco in Hayes in a vehicle similar to this, so it's a dark BMW 5 Series, registration AY05XDC. So I'd like any information regarding that vehicle.
Yeah, because you know you're using that at a time. Well, I'm so sorry this happened to you. It's worth saying, actually, that banks have told us that they would never ask for your PIN over the phone, so that's good advice there if anyone has a similar scam, but clearly we need to find out who these people are. If you can help today, then please do get in touch. Michelle.
Now, we're really hoping that you can help us with our next heartbreaking appeal, the tragic murder of two schoolboys nearly 4 decades ago. Can you help their families get the justice they so desperately need? On Saturday, August the 16th, 1980, two school friends went out to play. They never came back. John Greenwood and Gary Miller were 11 years old in the summer of 1980 and living in the Whiston area of Liverpool.
He was just an ordinary little 11-year-old boy. He used to love to go down the woods, playing, fishing, playing football. Bit quiet, really, bit of a shy boy, really.
Little things that they used to do together, like they'd go out and get Mother's Day, daffodils, little things like that, and they'd go around collecting bottles to get some money together. They were just normal 11-year-old children. Did nobody any harm.
It was just after the football results had been on the television, and he put his arms up saying, yeah, Liverpool 3-1. And then he said, can I go out, Mum? I'll go and knock for Gary.
On that day, Gary had been a naughty boy, and his dad said he had to stay in. And when John knocked for him and said he can't go out, but I relented to my, you know, if I'd have kept him in, perhaps the kids would have been alive today, but I let them out because I was sorry for him and I wanted him to go out and play.
And the next minute, Gary knocks on the door, and I heard John say, oh, has she let you out, has she? So he said, I'm going out, Mum. So I said, all right, bye. And we went out.
There were several sightings of the boys after they had left Raleigh Avenue that afternoon.
They then moved from Raleigh Avenue into Wiston Village. They walked across the car park at what was then the Horseshoe Public House, and crossed over Windy Harbour Road, and then went behind some buildings to Wiston Labour Club, where they again played, kicking tin cans, playing on the fire escape.
The boys finally entered an abandoned colliery, now known as Stadmowers Park, which was being used as a rubbish tip. At around 7:30 p.m, a local dog walker was passing the tip where the boys had been playing.
And he looked across, and from about 100 yards away, he saw a male acting in a suspicious way. The male is described as having dark hair, which is swept back, and he was wearing a brown jacket. When the man saw the dog walker, he walked away.
Curious, the dog walker went over to where he'd seen the man. It was here he found the two boys lying injured.
He then ran down this path to some local houses where he raised the alarm. In a very short time, the ambulance was here and took the boys to hospital.
The boys died of their injuries, and a murder investigation was launched. The case attracted huge media attention at the time, with the police appealing for anyone with information. But 37 years after Alma and Barbara buried their sons, the killer has still not been found. In October last year, police reopened the investigation into the boys' deaths.
We understand that this must have been an extremely traumatic event for the families, and we're trying to provide them with some closure.
For John and Gary's families, the agony of that day is as fresh as ever.
You don't think of murder. You don't think of anybody hurting children. There wasn't an awful lot of crime around the village at the time.
We feel like we've let the boys down, they've never had the justice. They feel like as if it's been an accident, or not that just gone out to play and never came back. They deliberately left them to die, and can't get that out yet.
Very, very upsetting. With me now is DCI John Middleton, who's reinvestigating the boys' murder, but also I'm joined by Debbie Lewis, the sister of John Greenwood. Thank you so much for coming today. Firstly, John, it's been 37 years, so what information are you appealing for today?
We're particularly keen to trace two boys who were assaulted at Wiston Health Centre approximately a month before the murder, and a young boy who ran up a garden path asking for help in Halsnede Avenue, Wiston, approximately 2 weeks before the murder. But we'd really like to speak to anybody who went to school with John and Gary at Halsnede Primary School, or were in the first Wiston Scout Troop with them. And we'd also really like to speak to a young lad by the name of Duffy, who was with the boys just before they were murdered. He rode a yellow chopper rally bike, and we'd really like to speak to him.
Okay, and Debbie, we heard your mum in the film there and Gary's mum, but just tell me the impact that it's had on both families.
It's been a huge impact. I've grown up seeing my parents suffer with this, my mum so terrified that she could lose one of us, and my dad so frustrated and angry that whoever did this to his son has got away with it this far.
And you have set up a Facebook group, haven't you, to help get justice for John and Gary. What's the response been like for that?
The response has been fantastic. I always felt there were people out there with information and they just needed to be asked. And when Josh Boswell, a reporter, got in touch with us in August, we decided to go for a campaign, and we got a few thousand members within a few weeks, and now we've got over 7,000. They've been really supportive.
Fantastic. And Debbie, if there are any people out there watching who have information, what would be your message to them?
I would say please, please come forward. Whatever's been on your mind, maybe all these years, maybe you've heard something, come forward and help us, because we need your help and we need to get some peace for our families and just get the truth and some closure.
Debbie, thank you very much, and we do appreciate you coming on the show today. John, thank you to you as well.
Now it's time for a look at today's wanted faces, and this is Stephen Costas Kimpritzis, although he also calls himself Stephen Clark. He was jailed for 2 years for actual bodily harm and released early on licence, but he hasn't stuck to the conditions of his release and is now wanted back in prison. The 40-year-old has links to the northwest, Lancashire and across Scotland. His upper teeth are missing and he has a deformed finger on his right hand. Next today is Sravan Gopu. Detectives wish to speak to him about a conspiracy to steal from banks via hacking. He has an Indian accent and links to Hounslow in West London. He's 34 years of age. Next today is Joseph Lee Nee. Detectives would like to question him about burglaries at homes where the owner's car keys were stolen and then the cars taken themselves. Nee is 30 and has links to the St Helens and Dovecot areas of Merseyside. And finally for today, David French. Officers from Thames Valley Police would like to question him about a burglary at a house in Banbury. The 33-year-old has a birthmark on the left side of his neck and links to Basingstoke, Yeovil, Milton Keynes, High Wycombe and across Oxfordshire. So if you know where any of these spaces are, make sure you get in touch using the numbers on screen.
Now, earlier in the programme, I took part in a water rescue training exercise with Merseyside Marine Unit, but last year, a group of heroic police officers from the Smithdown Road area of Liverpool actually pulled off the real thing. One of the officers involved was PC Steve McAllister. Now, I believe, Steve, you've actually got a phobia of water, so how did that work out?
Yeah, it didn't help great. It's not a phobia of water, to be honest. If I'm on holiday, I love the water, but I don't fancy murky water, to be honest.
That's not that enticing, really,
No, not really.
So talk me through exactly what happened. I mean, this was last November. It was you and a group of officers. You waded into freezing water to try and rescue a man that was trapped in his car.
That's right. I was out on patrol and got made aware of a stolen vehicle in the area where I was working. I managed to locate the vehicle, and before we've had a chance to try and stop it safely, the vehicle had taken off at speed, which has obviously resulted in a pursuit, which has been quite high speed at times. It was 140 miles at times on the motorway. But eventually, we managed to sting the vehicle, which deflated the tyres, but it's had a little effect with having a certain type of tyre that can keep going. And then eventually, it's, for whatever reason, he's driven into Carmel Dam, big open body of water.
And we've got some footage here which is actually quite amazing. You see the car in the dam. It's a thermal camera shot from the helicopter, isn't it? I mean, just talk us through exactly what happened.
Well, as you can see where the vehicle's situated there, it's gone in at speed, which is quite a distance away from the edge. It's pitch black, which the camera doesn't really show how dark it is. You can just hear the gentleman, he's screaming and shouting for help immediately. It's quite clear he's panicked and he's struggling to get himself out of the vehicle.
Did you know straight away just how dangerous this was?
Yeah, but knowing the location, I knew the dam. It's quite it's extremely deep in parts, so I knew straight away that he was in trouble. And given his demeanour, how he was screaming and shouting, I knew that he was struggling to get himself out.
Well, you can see from the footage as well, can't you, that at one point his legs are dangling out and then he goes back into the car. I mean, what's happening there?
That's right. He was trying to get himself out. He was panicked. He knew he was in trouble being inside the vehicle in that position. Being a sports car, the window was only small. He's quite a large fella, quite a large build, so he was struggling to get himself out of the vehicle.
So what happened next, and how did you actually manage to get him out?
Well, eventually the vehicle went completely submerged. It was quite clear he wasn't going to get himself out. We've had to, myself and colleagues, I've got into the water and located the vehicle only by the rear lights. Managed to open the boot and literally drag him through the centre of the vehicle.
So what's going through your head at this point? You're just in autopilot mode?
Yeah, definitely. If I wasn't in autopilot, I don't think I'd get in. Yeah, just your training kicks in and you do what needs to be done. Just get in and get him out, get him safe.
I guess it's reflecting on it after the event that, you know, the emotions come back.
That's right, yeah. Looking back on it now, it doesn't seem that it was myself. Looking in there now, whether I'd get in there again, I don't think I would. But as I say, you spurred on by your colleagues as well. I was one of 5, so I wasn't on my own doing it.
Well, Steve, it's really impressive and incredibly brave, and hopefully the man's learned his lesson as well. Thank you.
Cheers.
Fantastic work there. Just time for a quick update on your calls. And you may remember yesterday we asked for your help after a concrete slab was thrown through the window of a tram in Manchester, injuring the driver, as we can see there. Well, as a result of your information, police say they're chasing up some potential names, but as a matter of urgency. And detectives also say they're following up new leads after we showed 2 people yesterday they want to trace in connection to a cash robbery in the Newton Heath area of Manchester. But they're still keen to hear from anyone else who may recognise this man and the motorcycle passenger. Do keep those calls, texts and emails coming in. Now, we're back on Monday for the start of our final week, but sadly, Michelle, today was your last day.
Yes, Ralph. Tina Tahili will be with you next week. She starts the week in Birmingham and she's going to be working with the West Midlands Police's cannabis disposal team. They actually get the dangerous job of cleaning up illegal cannabis farms and making sure none of the equipment can be reused. But yeah, as we said, this is the end of my Crimewatch Roadshow journey this series. It's been amazing. I mean, seeing the emergency teams in action is incredibly inspiring. But good luck with next week. I'll be watching.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm probably having a well-earned rest, we hope. We'll miss you. For more details about the crimes on today's programme, go to our website. But before we go, here is another look at this morning's Wanted Faces. If any of them look familiar to you, then get in touch and tell us where they are. We'll be back on Monday, but until then, do take care. Bye-bye.
Finding out how they keep the Mersey safe.
Live for the next 45 minutes, you're watching Crimewatch Roadshow. Hello and welcome to Crimewatch Roadshow. As always, we need your help to solve the crimes happening where you live. Also today, a road with no limits. I take to two wheels to see how police cope when their peaceful island turns into a racecourse.
I can really see with so many twists and turns in the road how even experienced riders could quite easily get caught out.
And the increase in animal cruelty. How this dog survived one of the worst cases of brutality the RSPCA has ever seen. Today, Michelle is on the water in Liverpool. What are you up to this morning?
Morning, Ralph. Today I'm with Merseyside's fire and rescue team at their floating station. It's the base for their marine unit and they work hard to keep this stretch of water safe 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They also cover 60 miles of coastline and later I'll be seeing how they train in a dramatic river rescue.
You be careful. But now it's time for our first appeal and we need your help to catch the armed gang who broke into a family home and even attacked an 8-year-old girl.
So we dropped everything and run out the door, jumped in my car and got here as quick as possible. I feared the worst. What's this one called?
It's chocolate, he's the famous one.
Family man and pub manager Stephen Hughes lives with his wife Kellyanne, who he married last year, and his 8-year-old stepdaughter, Olivia. One evening in February, Stephen went out around 7 p.m. to work on a charity single he'd been producing in his spare time.
I was up at the recording studio and we'd been working on a Hillsborough charity single and we were just putting the final touches to it.
He left Kellyanne getting Olivia ready for bed.
I was expecting to be out for an hour, maybe 2 hours.
But not long after he left, Stephen received a call from his wife.
Hello? Obviously very upset, saying she could hear noises.
Someone in the house?
Coming from downstairs, she was upstairs with Olivia. And saying there was somebody getting in the house. From the tone of her voice I could tell it was something serious.
3 intruders had broken into the house. Kellyanne saw them from the landing and, terrified, barricaded herself and her daughter into the bathroom as the men came up the stairs in pursuit.
He pushed the door open, grabbed hold of Olivia, punched her in the head, still with the knife in his hand. One had a machete.
As the attack continued, the men demanded money and jewellery. By this time, Stephen and his friend were rushing back to the house.
And what would normally be about an 8-minute journey, we managed to do in about 3 or 4 minutes.
But when he got home, one of the intruders was lurking in the driveway.
A man ran out the house with an axe and he ran towards me and he went to throw it and then he feigned to throw the axe again, swung it at me and then run off into the other direction.
In his desperation to find Kellyanne and Olivia, Stephen rushed into the house.
And I opened the door and screamed for Kellyanne and Olivia's name. There was no answer. I'm walking up them stairs, I feared the worst. I thought I was going to find them dead. And that feeling lived with me for a very long time.
Eventually, Stephen found Kellyanne and Olivia at a neighbour's house, hiding underneath the table.
Olivia was hysterical, crying, sobbing, shaking from head to toe, and so was Kellyanne.
Thankfully, none of the family were seriously injured by the attack, but there have been devastating consequences.
I've been left with an overwhelming sense of I should have been there. Like, I'm powerless to be there and help them in the time of need. But that's something I've got to live with. Kellyanne and Olivia were diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. Olivia's gone from a happy-go-lucky, outgoing child to quite introverted at times and pretty much a nervous wreck. She's terrified to be on her own. She's got hiding places in the house. Just a mere mention of the instance, she breaks down crying.
I'm nervous every night and day in case they come back or someone else comes.
I'm 100% certain that there's people out there who know who's responsible for this. The people who destroyed a child's life, which we're struggling to rebuild.
It's absolutely horrendous, and with me now is Detective Inspector Jason Pye from Merseyside Police. Jason, the level of violence that was used during this burglary was seriously distressing, wasn't it?
It was seriously distressing to the family. I mean, weapons was used, the young child was assaulted in the house as well. So obviously we were really keen to speak to anybody who can give us information in relation to this offence.
And you're hoping that people, even who don't normally come forward with information, after seeing the extent of this attack, this burglary, that they will?
Definitely. You know, we've got an innocent woman and child in their own home. These two people have gone in there, they've attacked them with weapons. You know, we would ask anybody to search their conscience today and come forward with information, come and talk to us and help us identify those responsible.
And the CCTV, I mean, that highlights the level of violence, doesn't it? Talk us through that.
It does. The CCTV is captured from the front of the home. You see Stephen arrive home and you can see that he's confronted by one of the offenders with brandishing an axe towards him. I mean, it's horrendous, you can see that for yourselves. And again, I'd ask anyone to look at those images, and if you can tell us who the axeman is, to come forward and give us that information.
What did they take from the family?
They took a number of items. There was a wedding ring, an engagement ring, a number of watches, and a handbag as well. And obviously, we're still really keen to trace those items.
And as you said, this is something that has really affected the family, especially Kellyanne and Olivia, who've been suffering from post-traumatic stress.
They have. I mean, the young child's 8 years of age at the time. She's witnessed this in her own home. But I would like to reassure the public that this type of offence, thankfully, is extremely rare.
Jason, thank you very much. Raf.
What a callous attack. Do take another look at this image. It's vital that these thugs are caught. So if you have any information at all, please do get in touch. Now, some more criminals caught on CCTV, so watch carefully.
It's just before Christmas last year when this bloke enters an off-licence in Bolton, but he doesn't look like he's here to pick up a few festive drinks. He heads straight to the back of the shop and browses the shelves, or at least that's what he seems to be doing, but not for long. Instead, he turns back in the direction of the counter and pulls out what appears to be a firearm from his trousers. He heads over and threatens the shop assistant with the gun and